Hi, this is Kim with Filmmakers Focus New York, Kim Tank, and I'm here with Joe Harvie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So let's start off with your award-winning staff writer. Tell me about the award.
I won a few awards as a journalist, local journalism in New Jersey, for weekly newspapers below us, very, very small circulation. We won an award for a few things we did with affordable housing, and it's so weird talking about it, but because you don't write to win awards. But when we did it, we wrote this whole series of articles, about 20 articles about. It was an affordable housing complex, and then it was run down, and then we wrote a story about it. Somebody came in, they bought it and fixed it up, and then the town that we were covering, they actually changed their laws and made a rental code. So now, anytime somebody moves out of an apartment, they have to make any repairs, and so all these things happen simply because somebody called me up and I went out and wrote a couple stories. It was kind of weird to see all these things happen, and the win an award, it was an honor. But it was also kind of weird because I'm like, I just doing my job.
Yeah, so it seems like you're making a difference with the things that you do. And you work for the Division of Public Information. Is that separate, or? Yeah,
that's a new job. I moved from journalism to working for a small town in Middlesex County, New Jersey, and I run a TV station there. I don't run it. I do the video and editing and most of that stuff for it. We have a lot of people involved that are very hands-on. People that got the station off the ground. I'm just doing we kind of come up with some programs. I have some people doing things like that. I interview. Our latest thing is we're interviewing Holocaust survivors. We're just trying to get their stories on record, so that record isn't forgotten, and that record's always there. And we're also working on a history show about the history of our town, all the little interesting things that happened throughout the ages there, because the town was formed as Monroe Township in Middlesex County. It was formed in the 1600s was when it was first settled. So a lot of cool stuff happened there over the years. Okay,
seems like you wear like many hats: photographer, editor, narrator, producer.
Yeah.
So how does that translate into filmmaking?
Primarily, we started filmmaking. My uncle retired. My dad retired. My uncle bought a camera. Told my dad learn how to use the camera, and he's an actor, was an actor. He's a writer and producer and director as well. And he said, I'll direct. We'll get Joe to write stories, because I've been writing for years. I've been writing. Writing's sort of like my passion. And I'm like, okay, I'll write a movie. How hard could it be? And I'm like, it's really hard. So writing was the first love, and then when you start getting into filmmaking and when you don't have money, you learn that you could do many things. You can run a camera and you can edit as long as you learn the software. And things have gotten really easy now with the computers that anybody can make a film. I mean, the big joke now is what used to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars can all be done on a $200 iPhone, really.
Yeah, it's really tough because it's like very time consuming and
it
takes a long time.
That's the other thing people don't understand is editing takes a long time, and when you're usually I do it in the basement. You're in the basement for like 6 hours. You don't realize, hey, it's 3 a.m. You should probably be asleep. I have to go to work the next day.
You're working. It's a midnight job, right?
Exactly.
So who's Johnny Awesome? Tell me about that. It's a 35-minute clip. And
we made a 35-minute movie. The name was sort of a joke. My friends and I were out drinking beers in front of my friend's house, and he always joked around, he was thinking of funny names to give someone at a bar, and I'm like, oh, Johnny Awesome. And then somebody goes, it's hilarious. I'm like, and then they said, I bet you can't write a little story about a character named Johnny Awesome. And I'm like, I bet you can. I bet you I can make a movie about it. And then I did. And it was the idea was to make a superhero movie where the superhero wasn't the Johnny Awesome is the superhero in a fictional city, in a fictional timeline, and it was sort of noir-esque. But the idea was not to have the superhero as the focus, but somebody else, the normal people, as the focus.
That's interesting.
So it was sort of a flop. I mean, there's a old comic book series called Marvels that Marvel put out back in the 90s, and it was sort of taken from that, where instead of the hero, it's the guy that knows about the hero or ran into a hero who's the main part of the story. So it was fun, and it was about a reporter. So I pulled some ideas from when I was a reporter,
Right.
But it wasn't really about, because some people are like, oh, you wrote it about yourself. I'm like, no, there's no such thing as superheroes.
You're like, my name's not Johnny Awesome, by the way.
No. Yeah.
And you have something else, Strange Conversations with a Time-Traveling Idiot. So you wrote that, right?
Yes, I wrote that. I directed it. First time as a director. So it was a little iffy with it. But it was, I wrote it more as my friend described it perfectly as instead of Doctor Who, it's Doctor Huh. Because it makes very little sense, but it kind of does. I have a story planned out, but it was part one. It was about 7 minutes or so, 5 minutes or so, very short. Mm-hmm. And it was just a really fun thing to get a lot of dialogue with no distinct setting and just let the actors go and take these characters to all these weird places. Because just about a guy that shows up and, hey, I'm a time traveler and, something big's going to happen in the next couple days. He never says what it is, never really says how it happens or how anything happens. He just sort of, hey, I'm here. And you don't know if he's a time traveler. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't, maybe he's just crazy. So it was very weird and funny. I just wanted to have a lot of fun with it. That was sort of the point, was to... I love working with my friend Pat. He was in Who's Johnny Awesome. He was the lead in that, and he sort of had the normal role in this one, and part two he takes on a bigger role if we ever get that film, that's either our next project or the project after that. That's what we're going to work on. But I loved it. It was so fun. It was just really fun to say too. Strange Conversations with a Time-Traveling Idiot. And someone goes, "What's it about?" I go, "Well, the title says it all." I mean,
watch out for part two, right?
Yeah, part two is going to be a lot of fun. It'll be really a lot of fun. It's a little bit weirder, and we've been sort of kicking around like the subhead for it. The confusing Lear, or it explains even less.
Yeah. So, you mentioned that you're good at marketing, like with Facebook and all that other stuff. How time-consuming is it, and how do you use it? What's your process?
It's not. It's the time-consuming part is really just posting it. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to post it. The time-consuming part for me is always coming up with something funny to say. I always figure humor tends to lead people places. So if you can think of something funny to say in your post on Facebook, be like, hey, do you have 5 minutes? Instead of having a cigarette, watch this. Or, I would just post things on my friend's wall, and even though they know I made the movie and I know they watched it, it's really just to get it onto their wall so their friends that I may not be friends with will see it and be like, hey, maybe I'll click on this. And be like, and so you just kind of post something like, hey, did you know I did this? and
you're like, you're going to advertise for me, by the way.
Yeah, and then my friends email me back, I know you did that. I'm like, yeah, I know you know, but your friends didn't know.
That's a good idea.
So that's fun. I mean, I posted it on Twitter, but I have 12 Twitter followers, so I'm not breaking records with that. Facebook seems to be the way to go for... I would say for someone like me who doesn't have a big Twitter following. I only have like 80-something friends on Facebook, but then when you post it on their sites, then you have, some people that have 500 friends, so they'll see it, and maybe you get 5 people there to see it, and maybe they share it with someone. And then for friends that I have that aren't even on Facebook, it's email. So you hit everything, and you can do a lot on your own. For Schwati, Strange Conversations with a Time-Traveling Idiot, we got almost 400 hits now. It's been up for about 5 months, I think, 6 months. Not even, and it's not bad for someone. I had no marketing dollars went into it all. It was all on my own, and my uncle sent it to a few people. So just through email and through Facebook and Twitter and everything like that, you can get views. LinkedIn was a new one that sort of popped up too. Right. There's a filmmakers group in there that I joined up with, and I posted this, there's a forum, and it said, post your YouTube channel, and I posted it there, and then I posted underneath that, this is a direct link to the latest thing we're doing, so, it all depends on what people are willing to click on. Well,
it seems like you're doing a good job so far. Do you have any other things in the pipeline going on besides part two?
Part two of that, my uncle wrote a nice, it was really fun. It would be different for us because it has no dialogue in it, or very little, and it's about an Asian boy that travels down to the beach and then doesn't fit in with people, and it was a very interesting story. The way he wrote it was very well done, and I kind of said, we need to do this, and it'll be our biggest production because we'll have extras, hopefully, and we need to get a bus, so there's little things that hopefully we can get done with it.
You can get it done.
I
just
hope so, yeah.
got to concentrate on it.
So I said, you work on the logistics, and I'll find a way to film it. And we're kind of working on a shot list now for it to see what we could do. And
nice.
And he actually found a character for the actor for the part, so it'll be perfect. So we already have that down. Actors is the hard part too.
Okay, yeah.
Because we don't have money, so it's like, do you want to work for free?
Yeah, well, it's New York. Hopefully you'll find somebody.
Yeah.
But tell us about your production company and website, wherever we can follow you.
GiordanoWorks.com, GIORDANO Works.com. We have a few videos on there. YouTube.com/GiordanoWorks is where you can see pretty much everything we've done and some extra stuff that we've just sort of put up. My dad does some video work for the VFW group that he's in, and so we do a lot.
Twitter, you want to get some more followers out there?
Twitter's for the birds. I don't know. It's fine. Those are the two big ones, and we're starting up a Facebook group in a little bit. We had a group for Who's Johnny Awesome, so if you're on Facebook, type in Who's Johnny Awesome, and there's a group out there for it, and you can join up. There's a lot of fun stuff. People had a lot of fun on that because everyone was posting wacky stuff on there. Because that was that was sort of the start of it all with the viral marketing, I guess you call it nowadays.
Okay, so you got some stuff going on, Johnny Awesome and time traveling. So sounds good. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Joe Harvie with Filmmakers Focus with Kim Tank. Thanks.